everyone and Happy New Year. Now, I like to make yearly goals for myself, and putting them here on YouTube acts as a form of accountability because I know I'm going to have to sit here and talk about whether I achieved those goals or not. And in today's video, I'm going to react to the goals that I set for myself in 2021. And then at the end of the video, I am going to set myself some new goals for the upcoming year. And I'll leave a timestamp in the comments below so that you can see where I set the new ones in case you want to skip forward to that part. So I've taken my video from last year and I've chopped up the bits where I've set my goals, and I'm going to react to what I said. So my first goal, I'm going to publish 3 books. So last year I said 2 and didn't do any. Yeah, there's 2 in the pipeline basically already with publication dates. So that's 2. I've just got to publish 1 more than that. And there is a 3rd book in the pipeline. Don't know what will happen with it. And at least 2 others that are kind of simmering, and I don't know if they'll come to fruition. So I'm going to make it, right? Yes, I am, is the answer to that. 3 books. Hold me accountable. So I'm really surprised that I set myself a goal of publishing 3 books in 2021, especially since I remember that goal as 2 books, but I just think it was really optimistic. I published 1 book in 2018, that was Milk. Then I published Lily the Limpet Gets Lost in 2019. Then I didn't publish any books in 2020 due to the pandemic. And somehow I thought I would publish 3 books in 2021. It felt like it was expecting a lot. And I know that I set that goal because I was anticipating certain projects going through the pipeline, but even so, I just think that's a lot. And I know that when I made that video, it was at the end of December, and I believe at that point they hadn't announced that there would be restrictions over Christmas. And I just didn't think that we would have any further restrictions due to the pandemic. I just thought things would kind of rumble on and slowly more things would open and there would be less and less restrictions. I mean, that was naive, but I couldn't have anticipated that at the beginning of 2021 we ended up in the UK with the children going back to homeschooling. And so when I said I would publish 3 books, I was anticipating being able to work for those 3 months and not have all of that stuff. So I mean, I am really surprised that I thought that I would achieve that even without the homeschool and all of that. So yeah. So in 2021, I published 2 books. I published Milk and Cookies in September, and then I published self-publishing in December. So I'm really proud of publishing those 2 books. Actually, I did publish 3 books because I re-released Lily the Limpet Gets Lost. I released a 2nd edition in September. So, I mean, that counts as 3 books, right? I mean, I produced, I formatted and published and did all the work for 3 books. So do you know what? It was optimistic and I did it. I published 3 books in 2021. My next target is to get back into events in a big way. So once we can, I want to be out there at events. So that will include school visits. So as soon as we can, I'm out there with my books. Call me Emma, buy my book Rosen, but I want to be at the events. I want to be out there. I want to be interacting with people. So if there are events available, I will be at them. So yeah, I did do a few events this year actually. There was a delay in events kind of getting up and running again due to the restrictions and so forth. But yeah, I've done a couple of author events in Hythe at the Zoom events summer market, or I can't remember what it was called. It was something like that. I did an author event at the Chambers in Folkestone. I've done the Leaps and Bounds craft fair in Deal a few times. I've gone to the farmers market in Capel-le-Fern. I did a book signing for the release of Milk and Cookies. That was at the Deal bookshop. So a few things really. I did 1 school visit this year. schools it's been a difficult climate really because of the concerns over the pandemic, and they're not really having visitors coming in. So, but it was really fun to do one. I did say that I wanted to do more author visits this year, so yeah, it would have been nice to have done more than one, but I'm still pleased that I did one this year, and I've got a few booked in for 2022. And it was really nice to be back to selling my books, having my stall, yeah, it was really lovely actually. So yeah, I did do more events. I did what I could. If there was an event, I signed up to it. So yeah, really good. My next target is the profitability one. I'm going to do it in 2021. I am going to turn a profit. Isn't it sad when your only target is just to turn a profit? A massive profit. No, I'm just going to say I'm going to make my business just viable, which as in I am making some money. Well, no, I haven't turned a profit this year, and it's important to be honest. I'd love to be able to say, yeah, I've sold bazillions of books and I'm now a millionaire. That would be great. The reality is that no, I haven't managed to get to that stage yet. I am, however, in a much better position at the moment than I was last year. And that's because the reason that I haven't turned a profit is because I've invested a lot in stock. So I've recently brought out a few books, and I have had those bulk printed, which costs money. So I have a lot of copies of books that I will be selling. So that does put me in a better position. That obviously also means that I have more titles, and that's more opportunities for selling, because people might not like one book but they might like another. So yeah, I'm in a much better position now than I was last year. I think there's also a lot more opportunities. I can foresee 2022 being a better year in terms of selling the books that I have, and also creating more opportunities and getting involved in more things. So I feel confident that 2022, it's gonna be the one, right? No, don't you dare say that. No, I feel more confident that financially speaking, 2022 will be more successful, and that the reason 2021 wasn't was because I was investing in my business to move it forward. So no, I didn't achieve this. This is a big cross on this one. However, I am not sad about it. My next target is to continue to improve my platform. So I don't want to really set a numbers thing. Last year it was about numbers. I mean more in terms of content. So continue to learn about creating content and enjoying what I'm doing, creating stuff that's fun but is better. So I'm looking at sort of quality, but it's all got to fit in with what I'm doing and what I enjoy doing. So yeah, I want to continue improving the content that I put out there on social media. So I don't think I've massively improved the quality on my social media platforms, but I've definitely done a few things. I would say Instagram is the main place. On Instagram, I've used all the features. So I've done Instagram Lives, I've used Reels, I've put videos on there. I've just used all the features, although actually I wanted to make loads more, and over the next few weeks I hope I catch up with myself a little bit. So yeah, I've used the features on there, and I think I've been a bit more thoughtful about the posts that I put up. So for instance, before 2021 I used to make posts on my grid about all the books that I read, and now I tend to put those on my stories because they just weren't, the grid wasn't the right place to put them. And I think I'm using my stories more effectively too, and I think I'm just getting better at writing captions and putting better photos up, and so I think Instagram definitely. Facebook, I tend to repost from Instagram or share things from YouTube, so I would say my Facebook really is just tied into my Instagram. YouTube, I haven't done masses. It's not like I've brought a new camera, or I did buy a ring light. I'm not sure when I did that. But I would say really on YouTube, the main things have been, firstly, I've done more editing on my thumbnails. And secondly, I've made a conscious decision this year to not force it. So if I don't have an idea for a video, or if I don't feel up to filming something, if I'm not well, or we've got loads of stuff on, I don't feel guilty about it. You know, if it's the middle of the school holidays and it's going to be a total nightmare to film something and I haven't got the time to plan it, then I just don't. And I've probably only missed about 4 or 5 videos, but I do think this is a quality decision, because it's not fair and it's not right to just be churning something out because I say I have an upload schedule. If the video is going to be something where I've gone, oh, I don't know, oh, I'll just film that, then that's not going to be quality content. And I've definitely been very thoughtful about, yes, what videos I want to make, but also what videos might be useful or interesting to you guys. So I would say it's not like a massive quality improvement. It's not like I can say, like, my exciting white background hasn't got any more exciting, you know, and I haven't brought a new camera and I haven't, you know, all of that stuff. But I would say I've really been very thoughtful. And that's it for my business. My personal life, I want to maintain my fitness that I have worked on. So I'm not talking about increasing it. Might be nice to start doing some classes when we can, but I'm going to try to keep on running. So I'm going to give myself a big tick for this one, because not only have I maintained my fitness, but I would say it's also increased. So I've consistently kept up with running. Since I did the Couch to 5K in the first lockdown, I've gone running regularly, other than if I'm ill or something. I have kept at it and been really on it, and that's the first time I've ever managed to keep going at it. Usually I stop when it's the winter. So I'm really pleased with that, and that's been really good for my fitness. It's good for my mental health as well. And sometimes I might only run 1.5 miles, 2 miles. In fact, usually I only run 1.5 miles or 2 miles. But, you know, that's enough. It just gets me out for sort of 20 to 30 minutes, and I can really tell the difference to my fitness and my health. But so I was mostly running, say, 2 to 3 times a week. And then from about August, September, I went back to karate. So I started karate when I was about 17, and I did it, I mean, obsessively until I had my eldest. And then I went back to it for a short while, and then I quit, and I took 10 years out, I think. I then went back just before the pandemic. So I trained from the January through to the March. Then I carried on Zoom for about a month, and I just didn't get on with it on Zoom. And so, you know, just thought, oh, well, that's that, never mind. But then in the summer, I found a different club to the one I used to train at that allowed children to come along. And my middle child's really interested. My eldest gave it a go and wasn't into it. So my middle child's been coming along, and she absolutely loves it, and it's a really nice thing to do together, and she's just been really enjoying it. It's been great. I mean, karate is really good for my fitness. I find it a really good workout. I find it really beneficial to my mental health, my physical health. It's just the right kind of exercise for me. I find it a form of escapism. It's very centering for me. So yeah, it feels really good to be back, and she's loving it as well. So yeah, really, really good. And yeah, so my fitness is much improved, I would say. Maintain the balance that we've achieved with the kids, in terms of, you know, making memories, doing fun things together, being more of a family unit outside of all of the stuff that we have to do, and keep doing that once all the things reopen. Keep that level of balance that we've managed to achieve in 2020. You know, I'd say we've done a pretty good job with this. After the lockdown in the first quarter of the year, the 2 eldest kids went back to school and the youngest went to nursery. And I don't feel like we got back into that situation of, you know, they go to school, they come home, and then I've got stuff to do, and they've got reading, and they've got this and that, and, you know, the clubs and all the stuff. I feel like we didn't get into that endless, you know, constantly all going in different directions, and if someone wants to do something, there's no time. I don't think that really happened. I think we've been good at making sure there's a couple of evenings a week when we're all in, that if the kids don't want to do an activity anymore, that's okay, that they're just doing the things they really love. and that we're making time to do things as a family. And, you know, if someone wants to see a play, I don't know, you know, do something, that we can do that. We actually have the time. We're not all just constantly exhausted. So I think that balance has been better, in particular since my youngest went to school in September. So previous to that, I was only working 2.5 days a week while she was at nursery, and then the rest of the time I'd be trying to juggle. And it meant that when I was working, often the kids would get home and I'd be like, oh, hold on, I've just got one more thing to do. And now I pretty much get all of my work done during the school day. And then that means that they get home and we can do all the things. My head's not in two different places. I think we're just sort of better organised. Do you know what? We have a family Google Calendar, and that may not be revolutionary for many people, but it's made a huge difference to us because we actually know where everyone is supposed to be. It's amazing. Maybe I should do like a family organisation video. Probably shouldn't be the person to ask, but we've got it. I'd say we've got it well organised, and we've been spending time as a family and making time to spend time as a family, because yeah, we're not on that kind of constant, no one has any time and everyone's confused at where everyone's supposed to be. So yeah, the balance is a lot better. And I'm going to set a reading target of, so I did 60 books, should we say 70? 70 books. Let's keep on reading more. 70 books for 2021. I didn't read 70 books this year. It was looking hopeful for the first half of the year. On Goodreads, I was usually on target or ahead of target or schedule, whatever it's called. But then once I really got into the publishing stuff with the new books, I just didn't have the time. And then right at the end of the year, I hit a bit of a reading slump. I actually didn't think I'd read anything in December, or I was reading, but I wasn't going to get through a book. But I did finish a book just about the 29th of December or something like that. It was just a busy year and a lot going on. So one of those things, no, I didn't read 70 books. I actually read 52, which is kind of cool because it means I averaged a book a week, which I think, you know, that's pretty good. So, but I read some great books. I enjoyed reading. That's the main thing. So yeah, I did not read 70 books this year. Okay, so my goals for 2022. Now, this is the point in my video last year where I said 2021 is going to be my year, and I'm not going to say it. No. 2022 is going to be fine. That's all. Just fine. I don't want to tempt fate. So I have 7 goals in the same kind of areas that I've set over the last few years. And I've really focused on these being achievable, and as always the first couple are around my business. So my first goal for 2022 is to publish 1 book. Now I've set that goal at just 1 book because I want to spend some time this year working on writing some new material. I've got a couple of manuscripts that need some work, so I know that I'm going to be doing more creative work. Last year I spent a lot of time literally just publishing, you know, formatting and getting printed and all of the things involved. And this year I want to do some writing, since that's what this business is all about. Also, I have books that I've already published that I need to sell. So I know that my focus is going to be in those areas, and so I don't want to spend lots of time publishing this year. I'm hoping that one of the 2 or 3 manuscripts that I'm working on at the moment will, you know, look like it's ready to take through to that stage, and that book will be published. But I think 1 book is realistic. My second goal for 2022 is to focus more on services. So in the past I've talked about kind of going to events, and I still want to do that. I still want to do the craft fairs and all of that stuff. But I want to focus on the services I provide, and that's because my background is in education. I was a school teacher, so I want to focus on going into schools. I also want to look at things like training, courses, public speaking, because I love doing all that stuff and it's within my skill set. So I'm going to be focusing on those areas and, you know, creating stuff and looking for opportunities. as well as continuing the things that I already do. I already do school visits, I'm just going to do more of those. So there's that. So my third goal for 2022 is to be profitable. I've said it for a few years now, and I'm going to keep saying it until I get there. But 2022 looks like I said earlier, I feel that I'm in a good position now. I've invested in publishing a few new books this year, in stock that I can sell at book events, and I've got a few kind of things that are progressing, so I really feel that there's a good opportunity this year. So I really hope that this will be the year where I can tell you about how amazingly financially well my business is doing. But who knows? So my fourth goal is around social media, and this year I want to make sure I am using social media effectively. What I mean by that is that when I'm creating content, I want to make sure it always has purpose and a lot of thought put into it. So I'm either creating something to move my business forward or to benefit you guys or to share some information. I always do that, but I just want to make sure that I do that more. But also when I'm consuming social media, that I'm not mindlessly scrolling and that I'm just focusing on things that are going to be beneficial to me. I just want to use it as a tool as opposed to kind of getting lost in it. So hopefully that makes sense. My fifth goal then is my first personal goal, and that is that I am going to sort out my teeth. Now, I don't think I have awful teeth, but long story short, I'm having my wisdom teeth out soon. I actually thought it was in 2 weeks, but it's not. And once I have my wisdom teeth removed, I'm going to reward myself by having my teeth straightened and probably also whitened. So that's just, as I say, I feel like my fitness is good. I feel like my mental health is a lot better, but I would like to focus on my teeth. So there we go. My sixth goal is the one that focuses around family, and for us, I'd like us to go on lots of trips this year. And that's because obviously over the last few years that's been a challenge, and I'm aware that as my son now is at secondary school, he's going to want to spend less and less time with us, and I want to just take all the opportunities that I can. So yeah, I'm just looking at creating fun memories. So my husband took my son to the football recently, and that was brilliant. I want to take my kids to see bands, and I want to go to the theatre, and I want to go and visit places and have like weekends away and holidays. And so yeah, just going places, seeing things together and giving them experiences is what I would really like us as a family to focus on this year. And then my last goal is my reading goal, and this year I'm going to set it at 60 books because that just seems a realistic goal for me. As I say, I read 52 books last year, and you know, within that there were a few reading slumps, so I feel like 60 is an achievable goal. And in fact in 2020 I did read 60 books, so 60 books, that's where I'm setting it this year. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing my goals for the year and my reaction to my goals from last year. I'd love to know what goals you're setting for yourself this year, and I'd just like to wish you a happy new year. Please hit like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Take care.